I don't think there is a single community that's harder to be a part of than the Rockafire Explosion. Being in the position that I'm in, I actually hear a lot of stories about these fond showbiz pizza place childhood memories just being ruined. I mean, how some kids used to idolize Aaron Fechter and are completely heartbroken seeing just how unhinged this man is. And in a lot of ways, Fechter is, at least in my opinion, the sole reason that the Rockafire Explosion will never be as big as it was in the 80s. He could be in charge of like a massive family pizza arcade chain, but solely due to his own ego, this whole community is like doomed for fucking destruction. It will one day meet its own eve of destruction. Some people say that Fechter just kind of decayed over time, but in all honesty, I don't think that's the case. His old age might serve as a reasonable explanation, but the reality of it is he's just always kind of been like this. That's why those orange carpet caper videos were so, revealing. It just kind of showed that Fechter was always kind of an asshole boss. He was always kind of unhinged. The fact that he actually, contemplated murdering an employee because they threw away a dirty, sewage-covered carpet shows just the levels of mental illness we're dealing with in this man.
Couldn't hit her, couldn't kill her if I wanted to. So I merely showed her that the way she sized me up was totally wrong. So I chose to vent my anger and my stress in the form of a nice, brilliantly executed temper tantrum, wherein she was fairly convinced that I was out of my mind crazy and that I could kill her at any instant.
And, I do hope he gets help for that. But when you're in a position where you're a childhood idol, where children are looking up to you, you need to be held accountable. This whole thing just kept snowballing until it became this massive, insane mess, and now, all the new people that were introduced to this world by Five Nights at Freddy's, mainly kids and young adults, are getting to watch all of this unfold. And, I'm sure it's a difficult thing for people to cope with. It's a difficult thing for people to separate the art from the artist, especially when he's constantly interjecting his extremist views into his art on Twitter, on all of his brand accounts. Separating the art from the artist was something that I actually encouraged from the start. And, hopefully by me saying that helped a few people through this insane conundrum. I know I'm saying the word insane a lot, but that's really the only word to describe the fucking Rockafire Explosion rabbit hole. So to make a long story short, you can like these animatronic characters, but I still recommend that you try and distance yourself from Fechter's, and here's that word again, insanity, right? But Fechter's control freak nature really does pose a challenge for that big section of the community that just wants to enjoy the Rockafire Explosion for what it is. These colorful, singing, dancing cartoon animals. He's constantly striking down fan art, waging war against fan programming, and even other videos that just parody or even pay tribute to his work. He's essentially attacking the people that are carrying his torch. Fechter is the only businessman I've seen who actively goes out of his way to wage war with his own customers.
The customers are all assholes. Except, of course, my current customers, who aren't assholes. They're good. But all the old customers, you guys are all assholes.
You upload a video of Billy Bob singing Ram Rants?
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big haired throbbing cocks wanting to be sucked. 18 naked cowboys wanted to be fucked.
Well, you damn well know Aaron Fechter is going to crawl out of the woodwork and leave a nasty old copyright strike on your channel. It doesn't matter how old you are. Fechter is going to take your heart and soul, which a lot of people really put into their channels, and crush it into tiny bite-sized pieces in the form of a YouTube termination. Especially if you're a minor, because, minors, they don't have the resources to fight against these copyright strikes. They're not willing to put their name and address on the appeals because, they're living with their parents. So on the subject of copyright strikes, it's actually come to my attention recently that Fechter is trying to trademark Smitty Super Service Station, a privately owned business in Mississippi that's, really just a labor of love for the Rockafire Explosion. They aren't affiliated with creative engineering at all. In fact, the owner actually had a falling out with Fechter a while ago. They aren't even making a massive profit off of this. It truly is a passion project. And Smitty's really became like a safe haven for fans of the Rockafire Explosion that don't want to deal with the lunacy of Aaron Fechter. On top of this, despite Aaron having originally licensed Smitty's the right to use these animatronic characters, and having deemed it vital to the preservation of the Rockafire Explosion, which I believe because there aren't that many Rockafire shows for you to go out and visit. There's not like a massive gateway for people to get into this community. Unless you somehow find it through YouTube. He's retroactively trying to take everything down. Which, if this goes to court, and you better hope it doesn't, that would set a very alarming precedent for fan programming as a whole. If Aaron can get Smitty's taken down, he can get fucking anything taken down. Now, this is a public document available by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, as you can see from the corner there. It says that Aaron Fechter is trying to trademark Smitty's Super Service Station. This was actually filed back in 2019, I believe, but it's still a growing case. The mark for Smitty's Super Service Station trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of entertainment services in the nature of live, visible, and audio performances by animatronic characters. So, in layman's terms, these animatronic shows where, you can see fucking Billy Bob singing Ram Rants, except not actually performing Ram Rants. Entertainment services in the nature of live theater performances, really just fancy different ways of covering the exact same thing. Now, if you look at the specimens Fechter provided, here we have Smitty's in just generic font with a white background. I don't think he can really trademark that. I mean, he doesn't own this font. And here's an old picture of Aaron with the owner of Smitty's, which, doesn't really help his case at all because it shows that, yeah, he was very supportive of this at first and licensed these characters. He's really just retroactively trying to get it taken down. And this is a picture of the Smitty's website, which he does not manage or operate at all. So I think he's trying to trademark the website as well. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for him, but as you can see, Fechter is really trying to get Smitty's taken down. And you might wonder what kind of person would take on a case as insane as Aaron Fechter's. Well, probably a lawyer known for being dishonest, fraudulent, deceitful, misrepresentative, according to an article by law.com. So it's interesting that Aaron Fechter is deciding to work with someone who stole LegalZoom referrals and was disciplined by the State Bar of Texas, but it's Fechter, so we shouldn't really be surprised by his choice of lawyer. So where does that bring us? Well, I think the main takeaway here is that I think Smitty's is an important case to follow up on. If you care about the Rockafire community and are worried about Aaron Fechter restricting your creative freedoms, this case could set a very important precedent. If this actually reaches the courts. And that precedent could either be really good or really bad. So you better hope that it's a really good fucking precedent. And with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up now. If you found this to be informative or, enjoyed the video as a whole, I'm trying to fix my audio as well because I noticed there was a bit of a weird delay in some of the previous videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully I can get it under control with this one. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it around, get the word out about this case, like and subscribe to keep up to date with more future content. And yeah, peace out everyone. Hope you all have a gloriously glorious day.
But I'm gonna win, I'm gonna try. I'll never lose, I'll never die. You've seen me before,